Waiting room. Good afternoon. We'll give everyone just another moment to come in from the waiting room, and then we'll get started. Good afternoon. If you're just joining us from the waiting room, we're going to give it another moment for everyone to trickle in, and then we'll get started. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. Thanks so much all for joining us. Hello and welcome to Good for Students, Good for Schools, how CalFresh promotion will move districts forward. I'm Kelly Warner. I'm a program manager with the Nutrition and Physical Activity Program at the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health and co-chair of Nutrition Access LA, which is LA County's County Nutrition Action Partnership, or CNAP. I will be the moderator for today's session. Really glad to have you here this afternoon. So this afternoon, No Kid Hungry California, Nutrition Access LA, Child Nutrition Directors, and in partnership with the Los Angeles Department of Public Social Services and Public Health, will speak to you about how CalFresh outreach can make a significant impact on your schools, students, and families. No Kid Hungry is a national campaign which focuses on federal and state programs that can make an enormous difference for those hungry children. I want to extend a big thank you to No Kid Hungry California for their partnership and support in putting on this webinar, and also serving as steering committee members of Nutrition Access LA, and overall for being strong advocates for child nutrition programs across Southern California. CalFresh, which is California's name for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, plays a critical role in reducing hunger and poverty by supplementing a family's food budget to ensure that each family member is getting adequate nutrition. Recently, California became the first state to promise 2 free school meals to every local educational agency student. The Universal School Meals Program, which will launch in the 2022 to 23 school year, is part of the state budget agreement reached between Governor Gavin Newsom and the legislature earlier this year. In 2019, 1 in every 7 school children in Los Angeles County were facing hunger. Today, that number has increased. It's estimated that 1 out of every 5 of our students face hunger. For those who are eligible but not yet enrolled, CalFresh can be an enormous relief to many in our region. However, this solution only goes so far in addressing food security that so many households are facing. So we are here today to discuss the ways in which CalFresh promotion will move districts forward and be mutually beneficial for students and school districts. I want to thank you all for being here, for supporting programs that promote child health, and for doing your part to end childhood hunger in Los Angeles County. So with that, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items and today's agenda before I introduce our first speaker. So for some housekeeping items, if you encounter any technical difficulties, please first try signing off and re-entering the webinar. That can do wonders in addressing problems. If not, we have our tech team here. Tommy, you can send a message through the chat box directly to him, and he can do his best to help troubleshoot as well. Right now, attendees are in listen-only mode. So we have the Q&A box enabled. So please type your questions into the Q&A box. We'll be keeping an eye on that, and we'll have time at the very end of the webinar to go through all questions. Today's presentation in the webinar is being recorded, and the slides and the recording will be emailed to everyone in a week from today. And then for today's agenda, we will hear from a variety of speakers who've supported this webinar today. So we will have a presentation on school meals for all. We'll hear why CalFresh outreach is so important for students and the benefits to schools. We'll learn how community partners can promote CalFresh food within the school setting. We will learn about public charge and get some questions answered, as well as getting started with CalFresh onboarding and training and strategies to increase CalFresh enrollment. So thanks again for joining us. As always, we have a packed agenda. I'm really excited and grateful for our partners here who will be speaking today. So with that, I would like to introduce Andrea Cuellar, who's a program manager with No Kid Hungry. I will let you take it away. Thanks, Andrea.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing me to join you today. My name is Andrea Cuellar, and I am the program manager for Riverside County and the San Gabriel Valley for the No Kid Hungry campaign. Next slide. I wanted to take a quick moment to introduce you or reintroduce you to No Kid Hungry. Our mission is to end child hunger in the United States, as it is a solvable problem. No Kid Hungry strategy focuses on problem solving, working with local partners to identify and eliminate the barriers for kids. And we do this through helping with school meals, technical assistance to implement new innovative programs, grants, advocacy, marketing, pretty much anything that you can think of that can help connect kids with the food that they need. Next slide, please. For those that might not be familiar with SNAP or CalFresh, as we call it in California, I'm going to give you a quick explanation. Later on during this webinar, we'll have CalFresh experts that will go into more detail. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, is the largest nutrition assistance program in the United States. It is the nation's first lines of defense against hunger and the cornerstone for all federal nutrition assistance programs. This program helps low-income families and individuals to purchase nutritious, healthy food, and it does so by providing funds for groceries such as fresh fruits, vegetables, milk, and more. This program can really make a difference between for families who have to choose between buying groceries or paying bills. Next slide. So why CalFresh, why now, and why are we having this conversation and making a push? CalFresh not only helps families in need, but it also helps states and local communities. On average, for every $5 of CalFresh benefits spent, it generates $9.20 in total community spending. CalFresh promotion is important because it helps so many families in need, and we know that schools are some of the best ways to get the messages out to parents. There are also compounding benefits for schools when they promote CalFresh. When more families get enrolled for benefits at a school district, it benefits schools in return. When these students are enrolled, your direct certification percentages increase, which can benefit your LCFF funding through supplemental and concentration grants for high-need students. This can allow you to apply for community eligibility provisions, also known as CEP, a program which increases access to school meals for children. And we also know that Universal Meals is coming to California next year, which makes it the perfect timing to implement this program and increase ISPs. Next slide, please. So I wanted to take a moment to give you some background on Universal Meals program. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this over and over, and this is why it's such a timely issue. So the passage with AB 130, California became the first state requiring public schools, county offices of education, and charter schools serving students in grades K through 12 to provide free breakfast and lunch, regardless of their free or reduced price meal eligibility. So this is a huge deal and an incredible step forward in fighting childhood hunger and achieving equity for kids. But in order to sustain this program, it is critical that districts draw down as many federal dollars as possible so the state can just supplement the difference. CDE, as you guys have heard, has announced that all schools meeting the minimum identified student percentage, also known as the ISP threshold, which is currently 40%, must apply for a federal provision such as CEP or Provision 2 by June 30th of 2022. Next slide. CEP or Community Eligibility Provision allows schools food service authorities to qualify all children at a given school site for free meals without the use of a school meals application. Schools not on CEP must still collect meal applications and claim their meals based on their free and reduced and paid status, even though all students will receive free meals next year. When they make their claims, they will receive the corresponding federal reimbursement dollar for free and reduced meals, and the state will make up the difference. Those in CEP, the school's ISP is multiplied by 1.6 to receive the new percentage. This percentage will be the meals that are reimbursed at the free rate. And in most cases, this will mean more federal dollars and more sustainable universal meals program for the long haul. Next slide, please. So I wanted to talk to you about CalFresh enrollment gap, but before I do so, I wanted to go over the income eligibility for a family of 4 for these programs. Most of you on the call involved in schools may already be familiar with the free and reduced price meal program, which can be significant to help families. But there's more that we can do to help these children when they're not in school by getting them connected with CalFresh. This ensures that they have access to nutrition at home, further setting them up for success when they arrive at school. So going over the eligibility about these programs, for CalFresh, the income limit is $36,075. And again, this is for a family of 4. For Medi-Cal, it is $38,295. And for free meals is $34,060. Next slide, please. But as you can see, when compared to enrollment, there's a significant gap, although the eligibility requirements are very similar. These numbers are the most up-to-date that we have from up to March of 2022. So for CalFresh, we have 473,000 enrolled. For free meals, 883,000, and for Medi-Cal, 948,000. The huge enrollment gap between these programs can be due to many reasons. Parents might not know they qualify, might be fearful of public charge, which we will have experts talk about, stigma, or other. But since we're focusing on schools, when more families in the school district are enrolled, your direct certification numbers rise to reflect the true level of need. And kind of this is our call to action to you all. Thank you for being here, and I'll pass it back to you, Kelly.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you for setting the stage and really making it clear what our call to action is today. Why are we here talking about the connection between CalFresh program and schools? So really appreciate, being able to see that visual of the distinction there for similar eligibility. We see that big gap. And as you stated, Andrea, we know schools are some of our most trusted community partners. So with that, we have a real food hero who's going to talk a little bit more about why CalFresh outreach is so important for both students and for schools. So I'm honored to welcome and thank you for being here, Dr. Betty Crocker, who's the Director of Child Nutrition Services for Redlands Unified School District. Such a champion and will help make it really clear, why this is so important. So take it away, Dr. Betty. Thank you so much.
Kelly, you are all too kind. You and No Kid Hungry own my heart. I really feel that you give us such a beautiful stage to share best practices and some things that we pioneered out in San Bernardino County. Tommy, would you hit that next slide, please? It's true. I'm Dr. Betty Crocker from Redlands Unified School District. What a privilege to serve nearly 20,000 kiddos. We have 27 schools. 3 of those schools are comprehensive high schools. I have 4 middle, 16 elementary, 4 independent and continuation. I am proud to share with you that school year 2021, we qualified for 100% CEP. What a game changer that was for all of our families, bringing down almost 30 million in pandemic EBT directly to my family. 68% of those are qualified for free and reduced. District boundaries, although we're called Redlands Unified School District, we also serve the communities of Loma Linda, Mentone, Forest Falls, and even parts of San Bernardino and Highland. Tommy, next slide, please. So what's the big deal? It's just like our colleagues were sharing with us, that connection with the schools is everything. Schools are a trusted resource. You know, I like that saying, to whom much is given, much is expected. So here's the big deal, being in the school district, is that CalFresh, we serve families directly. Matter of fact, all those pictures up there are from our grab and go when my customer model flipped from the kiddos to directly to the parents. What a humbling experience it was to actually see the eyeballs of all of my parents and really gain a deep understanding of the impact of all of these school meals on their family budget. I heard time and time again the impact. You know, Betty, I'm not one of those families, but let me tell you what this means. It means that I have access to food where before I used to have to spend my food budget. So a piece of that, we use our opportunity to reach directly out to our families and start promoting CalFresh right there on the front lines. So what does that mean for us? I shared with you in the middle of the pandemic, we qualified for 100% CEP. By and large, that was done because we had our direct certification. Our direct certification is an offshoot of all of our families that qualify for CalFresh. So the more direct certified families that we have that are qualified for programs like CalFresh, that means a higher unduplicated count. In just super simple terms, that means more funding for our schools. The school district nutrition program funding also benefits. That's how we qualified for community eligibility provision, which is my next bullet as well. And then, of course, it expedites the annual district LCFF process, which is the manner in which the state of California requires all school districts to provide an alternative income form when we are working off of a provision program. Tommy, would you hit that next slide for me? I'm going to give you a direct seat into what I call the Redlands Unified School District web culture in full bloom. Next slide, please, Tommy. This is what it looks like to be us. Of course, our famous welcome station. That's what we do. It's our jam. Welcome to Redlands. Next slide, please, Tommy. Our number one focus in that web ecosystem is connectivity. I'll call it Connect. We make it easy to access our nutrition button. Every website we have in our school district carries with it a prominent radio dial of the nutrition. I'm going to take you right there in just one moment. Again, schools are the trusted resource. You can take it directly from my site. I put my rusdnutrition.org in the chat as well. I work directly with Link to provide the resources that you'll see on my website. If you are a school district that uses iSight, a company that Link owns, many of us do, they can provide you the CalFresh button directly, what I'm about ready to show you. So the ecosystem, we synchronize the ecosystem in the web platform from the district office to the school sites and of course, my department, Nutrition Services. Next slide, please, Tommy. This is what it looks like. Here is the homepage of our school district. Next slide, please. And you will see that we have the nutrition radio dial. This is on the district webpage. Next slide, please. This is an example of what all of my sites look like. So every single school site has a basic frame as you're seeing. And again, as promised, it has a prominent nutrition dial. So what happens when you push that nutrition dial? Tommy, can you show us what happens when you push that nutrition dial? That's right. This is where you come. Now, this is my homepage, the Nutrition Services homepage. Next slide, please. And again, I'm putting the website right there for you, rusdnutrition.net. You'll see that we have the CalFresh prominently displayed. Next slide, please, Tommy. Once you push that, you're offered two opportunities. Tammy Flint in our office keeps the pandemic, EBT, all that information current. We're going to go to CalFresh though. Next slide, please, Tommy. When you hit the CalFresh button, this is all of the content that you have, and you can see this live on my website right now. You'll see that we have actually a video to explain everything as well. Next slide, please, Tommy. In addition to English, we are also offered this entire platform in Spanish, and our friends over at Feeding American, bless them, but they also did this video in Spanish for us so that our families are able to see that as well. On the state side of things, I'm super proud of the state of California, not only for universal meals, but my goodness, they made Universal Benefits California, as I call it, our Benefits Cal. Go ahead and next slide, please, Tommy. As soon as you hit this button, it will give you to all of the resources that are available in the state of California that our friends will continue to talk about. And Tommy, next slide, please. Oh yeah, thank you so much. Betty Crocker, Redlands USD. If I can be of service, please find me. I welcome all Q&A on the chat.
Dr. Betty, thank you so much. Thanks for such wonderful visuals too of actually getting to see your website, see how you've put that CalFresh link on there. You've got easy access to PEBT, to the website, where to apply, and so great to see that. Thank you for being open to questions. Please feel free to put those in the chat. We'll have time at the end to go over them, and thanks for addressing any in the chat. So I see lots of unified school districts and food service directors, child nutrition directors on our who've signed in or said hello on the chat today. And so hopefully these resources are helpful, get some ideas going. We also know that many on the call today are community-based organizations and community partners. Saw several people say hello there. And so we also wanted to take an opportunity to say, what does it also look like for our community-based partners to promote the CalFresh food program within a school setting? So really excited to welcome Melissa Gallardo, who's a community wellness health educator at Lawndale Elementary School District, who's going to go over what it looks like with their partnership with the school. So Melissa, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Kelly. Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa Gallardo, and like Kelly mentioned, I'm the health educator with the wellness program at Lawndale Elementary School District. And today I'll be sharing a little bit on how community partners can promote CalFresh food within the school setting and why it's important. Next slide, please. Okay, so to start off, I wanted to give a little context about Lawndale. Lawndale is located in the South Bay region of LA County and is predominantly a working class community. Data shows that 87% of Lawndale students are from lower income households, with at least 18% of families in Lawndale being food insecure. Furthermore, data that was published by the Department of Public Health reported that in 2018, only about 45% of eligible residents participated in CalFresh food. And when it comes to our students specifically, district-wide, 83.8% of students qualify for free and reduced priced school meals, which is higher than both LA County and California state totals. And LESD has been a provision to school since the 2018-2019 school year. And so I wanted to share all of this because these are some of the ways that we were able to identify that there is a need for supplemental nutrition assistance and that our students and their families very likely qualify for and would benefit from CalFresh food, but that's if they're not already enrolled. Next slide, please. So a little bit more about LESD. So in partnership with the LA County Department of Public Health, LESD is a CalFresh Healthy Living Grant recipient. So with this grant, we focus primarily on education and promoting healthy and active lifestyles. And some of the ways that we're able to do this is through initiatives such as our produce pickups, which are free for families. We have Smarter Lunchroom movement, nutrition ed classes, student engagement projects, and physical activity promotion in our before and after school programs. And though CalFresh Healthy Living is technically separate from CalFresh food, it is part of our scope of work that we promote CalFresh food to our families. Next slide, please. So how do we do that? So the biggest piece for us has been to begin with avenues that already receive high parent traffic. And this is especially true if staffing or time is limited, which I imagine is a lot of other school districts, especially after the pandemic. So some of the more practical ways that we're able to do this is with CalFresh food brochures. So we have brochures that are printed in various languages that our families speak. For us specifically, we have English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. And so we place these brochures in main offices and parent resource centers on campus, or the different campuses. And we also insert them into our produce pickup bags, and we have them available at our booth during those events. And kind of as COVID restrictions begin to lift, we plan on also having brochures available like at booths for back to school night or other events like family fitness nights, which our district usually holds. In addition to brochures, we also, or just kind of more practical resources that we can hand out, we also heavily tap into our partners within the school district. So for us, a huge help and an example would be our community liaisons, which play a big role in bridging kind of the admin side of our school district with parents and the community. So they help us identify various areas on campus, which would be ideal spots for us to hang CalFresh food posters. They help us to post graphics that we post on our own social media accounts. They'll post them on the school social media accounts. They also help us to post them on parent communication platforms. So for us, that would be like our school weekly newsletter and Class Dojo. And so these are graphics that we access via CDSS. And if we're not able to come up with other pre-made resources, then we'll then default on making them. So that's a little bit more labor intensive. So I guess kind of the message, take-home message when it comes to promoting CalFresh food in schools would be to utilize what you already have available. So utilizing pathways that already have high parent traffic, tapping into your school partners. You know, for us, it was community liaisons. If you don't have that, then utilize other parent committees such as PTA, since that's a direct tie to families and other parents on campuses. And then also, if materials are already created, make sure to request them, request brochures, flyers, and social media kits. That way, it's, especially if you're limited in staffing or time, that those are kind of easier ways to push that out. And then once you have capacity to, then you get, brainstorm, get a little bit more creative with how you promote CalFresh food. Next slide, please. So what's the connection between CalFresh food and our school district? So in addition to CalFresh food being part of our scope of work or promoting CalFresh food, we also, it's important for our families and our students because we don't want them to miss out on resources that are available to them. So I wanted to share this cool graphic, which we were able to get through CDSS. So CalFresh by the numbers. So 2.5 million households currently receive benefits in California, but nearly 2 million are eligible but not receiving. So we see this, be true even within our district, as I shared previously, that about a little bit under half of people that are eligible are not enrolled and are missing out on various resources. So these resources are both in the community and within the school district community. So I wanted to share a little bit about resources that are available in the community as a whole. So the first one that they would be missing out on, of course, is their benefit. So this, they could be accessing more produce or groceries. Another one would be, incentive programs such as Market Match, which is available at a lot of farmers markets where families are able to double their dollars. And then also they'd be missing out on savings that pertain to transportation and utilities such as, like internet bills, energy bills, resources like that. And in regards to school community, as Andrea mentioned previously, if a school has an ISP minimum of 40% or more, then they automatically qualify for CEP. And qualifying for CEP is huge because it reduces application burden on parents and families and on admin as well. And reimbursements, of course, would be higher. And that means, we would have more means and resources for our students on campus. And of course, the connection there is that if CalFresh is one of, automatically includes students into that ISP percentage. And lastly, I also wanted to tie the connection back to our grant. So it definitely reinforces our goal of healthy living, which, a lot of, even if you're not a funded partner with CalFresh, I'm sure is a goal of, within the school district. So we want to encourage families and students to build healthier habits, and it's a lot easier to build healthier habits when people have access to food. Yeah, so that's what I had today. I wanted to thank you all for letting me share. And if you have any additional questions, I'll be available at the end during the Q&A. And I can also drop my email in case anyone wanted to reach out.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Melissa. Really fantastic presentation. Thank you for connecting the dots about the opportunities here that we have to partner with school districts, if, from community-based organizations perspective, and really did a wonderful job highlighting this complementary activity to really promote your sister program as CalFresh Healthy Living and promoting CalFresh food. And this last slide, I think, is a wonderful example of all the multitude of benefits of ensuring that those who are still eligible but not yet enrolled in CalFresh, that we can make sure we're connecting the dots, making sure it's known to them about this program and being potentially eligible, and really being that safe and trusted partner to support them in enrolling. So with that, we are going to take just a 5-minute break. Please feel free to continue to put questions in the chat for either Dr. Betty or Melissa. We will take a 5-minute break, get some water, take a stretch break, and then we will return at 2:37. We'll put that time in the chat. We'll take a 5-minute break. And we will be back to continue on. We'll have a presentation on public charge, which is a common myth and question that comes up, some misperceptions. So we'll get started there. Have a nice break, and we will see you soon. All right, we will come back from break now. It's 2:37. Thanks, Tommy, for the great tunes. Appreciate it. Hope everyone had a good, quick little stretch break. And really excited to introduce our next speaker. We will have Vanessa Guillen, who's a program manager too at the Department of Consumer and Business Affairs, at the Los Angeles County Office of Immigrant Affairs. We know that questions come up about public charge when we talk about food and nutrition assistance programs. And so we invited Vanessa, who I've heard give a wonderful presentation, really making clear about public charge. So we want, when those questions come up from family members, and we know that they will, that you'll have some information to be able to better answer those. So Vanessa, thank you so much for being here, and I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
Of course, thank you, Kelly. As Kelly mentioned, my name is Vanessa Guillen. I am the program manager here at the Los Angeles County Office of Immigrant Affairs. Next slide, please. So what do you need to know about public charge? And the very first thing you need to know is that in March of 2021, President Biden actually reverted the longstanding rule back to the 1999 original rule, which means that most immigrants can access public social benefits without the fear of it impacting their immigration status in a negative way. Next slide, please. So what is public charge? Public charge is a test that is used by immigration officials to see whether or not a non-citizen will become dependent on the government for support. And what this means is that, will that person be a charge to the government? And they usually use this test when they're trying to see if a person is going to adjust their legal status, if they are a legal permanent resident, or if they enter the United States as well. Next slide, please. Not all immigrants are actually subject to the public rules, the public charge test. So this is a list of the immigrants who are not subject to public charge tests: asylees and refugees, U visa, T visa, VAWA, which is victims of a violent crime, applicants or beneficiaries, survivors of human trafficking, domestic violence, or other serious crimes, special immigrant juveniles, and legal permanent residents. But what you must know is that legal permanent residents could be subject to the public charge test if they remain abroad or outside of the country for more than 180 consecutive days, or if they return from abroad with a certain criminal history. Next slide, please. There are still some benefits that do currently fall under the public charge test. The first set of benefits is actually government assistance for income maintenance, such as cash assistance benefits, Social Security income, TANF, or the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, and usually local General Relief Assistance cash program. Next slide, please. There is another benefit that does consider public charge, and it is Medi-Cal if a person is institutionalized in a long-term care facility at the government's expense or a mental health institution at the government's expense. Next slide, please. So these are just some of the benefits that are not considered public charge. CalFresh or Pandemic EBT, In-Home Supportive Services or IHSS, Medi-Cal, except for when the person is in a long-term care facility or a mental health institution, COVID-19 related services, including testing, vaccination, and the treatment of the COVID-19 illness itself, public housing or Section 8, the California COVID-19 rent relief program, Covered California and county health services, unemployment, disability insurance, family leave, workers' compensation, tax credits and rebates, such as the California Earned Income Tax Credit or Cal EITC, WIC, which is Women, Infants, and Children, school meals, and other government services and benefits. It is important to know that the programs delivered that from kindergarten through the 12th grade, K through 12 schools, such as the school nutrition program, do not fall under public charge. You can access these benefits, such as the National School Lunch Program, School Breakfast Program, the Seamless Summer Option Program, the After School Meal Supplement, Special Milk Program, Child and Adult Care Food Program, and the Summer Food Service Program. All are not considered public charge. You should check with your local school district to see which programs the school district has available, but please note that accessing none of those benefits are considered a public charge, and none of those will actually affect an individual's or family status in any way negatively. Next slide, please. A lot of the questions that we usually get is, if benefits are used by a family member, will it be considered public charge? And the answer is no. If benefits are being used, such as cash assistance, by a family member, including US-born children, they will not affect your future immigration application unless there's evidence that the family member was solely relying on that family member's benefits as a sole means of support. And what this means is that if there's no one in the household who is working and the cash assistance is used as the only income for that family, then yes, the cash assistance can be a cause for a negative impact on that individual's immigration status. And another question that we do get asked frequently as well is mixed families. If your family is mixed, meaning some family members of your household have legal status or are US born, you can still apply for benefits. Each program has a different eligibility criteria. We do have counselors here at the Office of Immigrant Affairs that can assist anyone who calls us with applying for public benefits. We do walk you through the process. We use the Benefits Cal application system, and we ask the same questions that would normally be asked if you were to go to a different agency. So we do assist in applying for public benefits, not just CalFresh, but Medi-Cal as well. If you have any questions, you can always contact us here at OIA, and one of our counselors would be more than happy to assist you, either in answering a question related to public charge or assisting in applying for any benefits. Next slide, please. I do see that we are holding all the questions at the end. If you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat or to reach out to us here at the Office of Immigrant Affairs. Our phone number is on the slide at 800-593-8222. We have counselors available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We also have 2 current branch locations that are open. One is located in the Hall of Records here in downtown Los Angeles. We are open Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 4:30. And we also have an branch location located in East Los Angeles County Hall. And we are open Monday through Friday from Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 4:30 p.m., where you can actually walk into our office and speak to one of our counselors in person, as well as on the phone. I also put our website where we do have a landing page related to public charge, as well as other immigration issues. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us anytime. We also have an announcement. So today we got notification that our public charge flyer is ready for distribution. During our last presentation, I asked if any providers wanted a copy of our public charge presentation flyer to please put their emails in the chat, and I will take them back. I will be distributing those flyers today and tomorrow. So if any questions arise about public charge, it actually talks about what public charge is and has the list of benefits that are not considered public charge and which still is considered public charge. It also has a QR code that will take you directly to the OIA landing page for that information as well. If you would like to receive a copy of our public charge flyer, please put your name in the chat and your name and email address in the chat, and I will be sending those out today. I also have a survey that I will be dropping in the chat as well. If anyone would like to complete the survey to let us know how we're doing, what kind of benefits or information you would like us to see present in the future, please let us know. I have dropped the survey link in the chat. And if anybody has any questions, I will be on till the end of the presentation to answer any lingering public charge questions you may have as well. Thank you. Back to you, Kelly.
Wow, thank you so much, Vanessa. That was a fantastic presentation. I really appreciate just how clear you are. You know, please put any questions that come up in the chat, but I just appreciate you're so clear and concise and thorough. Really make a confusing topic feel a lot simpler and straightforward. So thank you so much for being here. Please, again, put any questions you have for Vanessa in the chat, and we'll have time at the end to get any of your additional public charge questions answered. And wonderful news also about that flyer being available at this time. So I see lots of emails going in the chat. So thank you so much for sharing that resource. I would love to receive it as well and can share it out as a follow-up into our Nutrition Access LA listserv. So thank you so much. And the website and phone number are available. And also Vanessa has put the link for the survey in the chat. So we'd love to get your feedback there for Vanessa. So with that, we will go on to our next presentation. And thank you again, Vanessa. We will have an introduction to CalFresh. So getting started of CalFresh outreach, onboarding, and training. So we've talked a lot about the benefits of CalFresh to our students, to our families, to our school districts. We want to spend a little time now getting into the details of what is CalFresh, if it is a new program to you, or to have a little more knowledge about the benefits that students and families receive once they are enrolled in the CalFresh program. So with that, I'm excited to welcome and introduce Abraham Gomez, who is a Human Service Administrator for the CalFresh Nutrition Program. And I will go ahead and let you take it away, Abraham, and introduce any colleagues as well that are joining you today.
Great. Thank you, Kelly. Good afternoon, everyone. As Kelly mentioned, my name is Abraham Gomez. With me, I have Ms. Narineh Terbartanian. She is also one of the managers for the CalFresh Nutrition Program section for the Department of Public Social Services for Los Angeles County. Quite a mouthful. That's who we are. Can you go to the next slide, please? So what is CalFresh? CalFresh is a food supplemental program that is designed to help low-income households increase their food purchasing power so that they can meet their household's nutritional needs. It's also known as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program nationally. And CalFresh is a federally funded program, but there is a part of CalFresh that the state also funds, and it is for lawful immigrants through that wouldn't qualify for the federal program, also qualify for something called the California Food Assistance Program, or CFAP, if they are eligible. Next slide. So why promote CalFresh? Before I go into the information here, according to the USDA FNS, for every $1 spent in CalFresh benefits, it triggers $1.50 to almost $2 in economic local activity. In turn, CalFresh enables low-income families and individuals to be able to eat better and healthier. But I wanted to share some statistics that I didn't put it in the slide. In LA County, from March of last year to April, over $4.1 billion in CalFresh benefits have been issued through the program. Our current caseload is over 1.4 million individuals receiving CalFresh, with an average benefit of approximately $423 per household. We average about 63,000 CalFresh applications per month, but we feel that's not enough. Next slide. So what can be purchased with CalFresh benefits? So CalFresh can be used to purchase things, eligible food items like fruits, vegetables, meats, dairy products, grains, nuts, other fresh items. What cannot be purchased is you can't purchase alcohol, tobacco, vitamins, medicine, anything outside of something that a person can eat, right? Another way that CalFresh recipients can get food is through our restaurant meals program. And what that is, it allows individuals who are homeless, disabled, or elderly, which is over 60, they can purchase ready hot meals through participating restaurants throughout California. Next slide, please. So who is eligible for CalFresh benefits? So United States citizens or legal non-citizens, there has to be a note there. Anyone, regardless of immigration status, is encouraged to apply. A lot of families who may have mixed households, as my colleague previously mentioned, they may be hesitant to apply, even though they may have US born children that may be eligible. And if you encounter those kind of families, we strongly encourage them to file an application. Also, low-income individual families who do not have enough money to buy the food they need to stay healthy. And effective June 1st of 2019, individuals receiving SSI and SSP recipients now qualify for CalFresh benefits. Next slide. So CalFresh Outreach, one of the things that we are very proud of is our Application Assisters program. And what we do is we promote the services of the Department of Public Social Services. And our goal is to combat food insecurity throughout Los Angeles County. We make better, with the goal of making better, healthy eating options accessible to our communities. We also assist eligible households and apply for CalFresh and help them through the application process through our community-based organizations. We also attempt to encourage and establish relationships with these organizations that serve these various communities through partnerships and collaboration. One of the main new tools that we have in that collaboration is in April, your Benefits Now was replaced by Benefits Cal. And you saw a little bit about it earlier, but this is really a key piece of information because People can not only apply through a community-based organization who's an application assister, but to bring awareness that this platform is out there to really assist them in applying for benefits. Next slide. So Benefits Cal, as I mentioned, is a new statewide effort to include currently 40 counties to provide one unified experience and platform in which people can apply for benefits. So the benefits that will be supported are CalFresh, Medi-Cal, CalWorks, or known as TANF, General Relief or General Assistance, Disaster CalFresh, and also Cash Assistance Program for Immigrants, or CAPI. This portal makes it easier than ever to not only apply online, but to review benefits, upload documents, report changes, and also connect with a caseworker. Next slide. Community-based organizations, there are two tiers that are available to these organizations within Benefits Cal. There's a manager profile and there's a staff profile. So community-based organizations will apply through the benefits portal and a manager will obtain a manager profile. And that manager profile will allow people to allow that manager to request access on behalf of the organization. In other words, they can grant access to staff within the organization. They can view reports of all applications that the organization submitted. They can view all application statuses for the organization. They can resume an application on behalf of another person, and they can add and remove staff within the organization. It's very important that that is known, right? Next slide, please. Now, a thorough overview and a walkthrough video have been created, and they're available on YouTube through the Benefits Cal channel. And it's the channel is called Benefits Cal Community-Based Organization, or CBO accounts. And we put a short link, and I could put that in the chat. There's additional videos that cover all aspects of the website, can also be found on that channel. And the video not only covers what have been briefly introduced to you today, but it also go into the dashboard and how you create an account and how to assist applications and much, much more. To view previous slides on how to request Benefits Cal, there's also a link there where you can find certain of these screenshots that you see in my presentation today. And additionally, it's extremely user-friendly. With both interested applicants and CBOs offering additional resources to really help people get the benefits they may need. Okay, so that is one aspect. The next slide, please. That is one way of getting benefits or applying for benefits, but the department has significant avenues, and we hope to fit as many lifestyles as we can. One of them, as we talked about, is through your community-based organizations utilizing the Benefits Cal portal. Individuals can go directly on their own on the Benefits Cal portal and apply for benefits. They can call us. Our number is 866-613-3777. We've extended hours to Saturday up until 5:30 in the afternoon. They can give us a call. They can come to any one of our local DPSS offices. I know through the pandemic that was restricted, but currently it is not the case. They can also submit a paper application. They can go on our website and under food assistance, download an application and fill it out. And they could submit that application via mail, or they can drop it off at a local office, or they can actually fax us. And the fax number is 310-215-8220. Next slide, please. And in closing, we offer a CalFresh toolkit that is available to community-based organizations. It is on our website, and I'll put these links on the chat after I'm done talking. And then also the link to our Benefits Cal website, and any emails that your organization may have regarding questions can be given to Mr. Wayan Lam, dpss.lacounty.gov, but I'll also put in my email there. And to any assistance that we can provide, that is what we are here for. And I welcome any questions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Abraham. What a wonderful and thorough presentation. It's so great to learn a little bit more about the Benefits Cal website, about the benefits of the program. Just really appreciate your time in going so well over the program. Thank you so much. Please, as Abraham said, put questions in the Q&A box, and we will have time to answer those at the end. We'll also make sure the links, I know Abraham shared a lot of resources and links and phone numbers, so we'll put those in the chat for today. We also will make sure to include these. The slides will be shared in a week from today with the recording as well, and we can include these materials in the follow-up. So really appreciate you putting the promotional materials here as well. That way it's really easy for districts, for CBOs to access those resources, to be able to print them and to share and promote the CalFresh program. So thanks for staying on for some questions at the end, and we will go ahead. I'll pass it to our next speaker. We are excited to have Jonelle Williams-Pagan, who's a program manager at No Kid Hungry, who's going to talk about strategies to increase CalFresh enrollment. So thank you so much, Jonelle. I'll let you take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining. Next slide, please. So you've already heard a lot about the whys for CalFresh, but I wanted to also include some information about legislation that actually was passed a while back in 2015 that said if you put meals application in paper form or online form, that you should also make available online application to CalFresh, state application for healthcare, WIC information, as well as summer lunch programs. So we saw this and, thought, CalFresh is something that is underutilized. You saw that already from Andrea's slides. So focusing on CalFresh, especially when we deal with families, is something that is important that we should do. Next slide, please. Why are we supporting CalFresh promotion and outreach? The previous bill was a, Senate-based bill, but there was also local political will around CalFresh and improving the enrollment numbers there. In 2017, the LA Board of Supervisors passed a motion to increase CalFresh participation. And what they noticed is, as one of the reasons why, is that when they looked at adults who had CalFresh as children, they noted higher graduation rates for high school, also lower rates of certain heart diseases as well. So, it's important that there's also, state will, but there's also local will out here to make sure that we promote CalFresh and understand, what it does as a benefit. As it's been said by Dr. Crocker, Andrea as well, CalFresh and students enrolled in CalFresh are direct certification. That helps with CEP. And as we go into the universal meals in 2022, this fall, that's important for your ISP numbers. And then also, the free and reduced meal application, they're already eligible for that program as a CalFresh family. And the most important why, I think, is CalFresh supports families. We've already seen in presentations by Melissa, in presentations by Abraham, what CalFresh can do for families, and keeping that in mind as the #1 why. And just basic needs. We are in a country with a lot of resources. There is no reason why a student should have to think about meals or where they can get their meals, or a family for that matter. And as it's already noted, if a student doesn't have their basic needs, they will not be able to function in school. Next slide, please. So the Los Angeles Food Policy Council recently released a report about why CalFresh is so low in LA County. But I want to drag your attention to the first bullet, which is stigma and misinformation. And schools have been noted as a trusted source, for information. And that's the point of this particular webinar, to say you guys are trusted among families, and putting specific information on CalFresh on a website or something like that would ease, I think, certain fears of CalFresh and assumptions that families may have about the program. And I also wanted to note, when this report was released, Benefits Cal was not in operation yet. So there are already things in the working to make CalFresh enrollment so easy. Next slide, please. And I wanted to give just a quick example of a school district that followed the lead and said, I want to highlight CalFresh on my page. I want to include a CalFresh link on my page. And Betty was talking earlier about link a specific vendor and what they did. And as a result, you have schools like El Monte Union High School that have included the CalFresh information right on their pages for families to access. Next slide, please. I already highlighted El Monte Union, and they added the CalFresh icon. You can do that icon in different languages. You can also make sure it's visible, maybe doing it in the front page, maybe during CalFresh Awareness Month, which is May, and maybe this is something you can consider for next year, having a huge spread on your website about CalFresh. Or just doing the short blurb that El Monte Union did as along with the CalFresh link. And again, different languages, more than English and Spanish. You'll see a little later on that we have a toolkit that can help. Next slide. And I just wanted to point you to, and this is another level of outreach and promotion. Assembly Bill 402, which was passed a while back, allows LEAs to sign MOUs with DPSS, welfare organizations, to share information for school lunch participants who would be eligible to receive CalFresh benefits. And this is something that you would give the parent to sign to say that they authorize you to share that information with the public, with DPSS. Next slide. And I just wanted to quickly show a sample form. If you Google, parent consent form for release of CalFresh program, information, CDE's template of what that document looks like is basically the first thing that pops up. And that's what I pasted here. And it's just another level of outreach that you can do to help continue to support these families that, are not sure that they're eligible for CalFresh, but maybe because they're, filling out the free and reduced meal application. And this is the opportunity for you guys to help in that transition. Next slide. So now onto the toolkits. What No Kid Hungry, in partnership with DPSS and other organizations, have done is develop some ready-to-use toolkits, basically some plug and plays that you can easily use to promote CalFresh. Can you go to the next slide, please, Tommy? So this is a sample of the CalFresh Outreach Toolkit. It basically provides all the whys that you've heard in various presentations throughout the day, as well as social media posts in English and Spanish. They have robocall script. There's information on website postings, even if you want to do emails to letters, and much, much more. Even as Abraham mentioned previously, we have a couple of CalFresh assisters listed as well. And we're definitely going to share that information out, in the follow-up email after this presentation. Next slide, please. And if you are more inclined to do social media marketing, we have a fantastic resource where we were able to develop CalFresh, social media posts in 13 different languages, not just English and Spanish. We have Korean, we have Vietnamese, we have because California is very diverse, and, being able to see something in the language that you understand also, puts people at ease. Next slide, please. And let's not forget, this isn't just just a school district's responsibility. There's so many other partnerships that you can form to help with, the promotion of CalFresh. You can, as we said before, partner with DPSS. You can obviously partner with your county of ed department. You can also partner with other departments within your school district. McKinney-Vento advocates, you can partner with them as well. Abraham mentioned, again, the CalFresh Sisters, No Kid Hungry, of course, YMCA LA, they have done some SNAP outreach as well, CalFresh outreach, and sometimes even cities also do CalFresh outreach. So contact your cities and see if they also do CalFresh outreach, and they might be a great partner to have. Next slide. Going into this, we want to also, make this a little fun. So earlier, when you checked how many districts in LA County, had CalFresh links or different CalFresh resources, there was only about 7. After that link transition that Betty Crocker mentioned, there's now 49 districts that have CalFresh information currently listed. But we want to get that number higher. So what I am challenging you guys to do, and this is called the CalFresh Outreach Challenge, is if you do add the link before May 31st, what you will do is submit your information to No Kid Hungry California at strength.org. We'll also send some follow-up material on this through our follow-up emails that we send after our webinars. Send your information and we'll enter you into a drawing. And then after May 31st, we'll select at random, and that particular district or will be able to win $500 as well as some No Kid Hungry swag. And also, we have done this in other areas as well. We're open to doing granting for CalFresh. So for example, if you want to, as a school district, partner with a community-based organization on a CalFresh strategy, and you need some funding for that, we can definitely support that. But we want to know, are you guys interested? Tommy, can you please queue up the poll questions? So I'll give you guys, about 40 seconds or so to kind of get through this poll question, and we have one more. So please engage, so we can get a better understanding of where you guys are.
Jonelle, while you're waiting on the poll for a moment, there's a question in the chat that asked, is this available only to public school districts or are
Oh, no. Yes, charter schools, public schools, all can apply.
Great, thank you.
All right, let's see. I see a little bit of movement. Let's give it 2 more seconds and then we can move on to the second poll question. You can end it now, Tommy. Thank you. And then our last question is just, are you interested in having a grant related to CalFresh enrollment? And again, if you have innovative ideas on how to do a CalFresh outreach, you have a particular strategy that we haven't discussed or talked about, definitely, toggle the yes, because we are definitely open to anything innovative, anything new, anything fresh. All right, I'll give people a couple more seconds. Can you toggle it off at 45, please? Thank you, Tommy. And I think that is my last slide. And with that, I'll pass it back to Kelly. And thank you so much for spending some time with us and, hearing about CalFresh.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jonelle. Thank you. That was fantastic. Really appreciate the time you took. I've learned so much from you related to policy, laws that have been passed previously that can influence how we support and partner with each other to promote the CalFresh program. Just all of the practical ways that you described for offering a raffle to encourage districts who don't have the CalFresh benefits link on their websites to encourage those who don't have it on the website to get it on the website. As Andrea mentioned in the chat, No Kid Hungry is going to be selecting 6 winners that can receive $500 that can be used for anything. So really increasing morale in your school food service program. So thank you for such wonderful partnership. Really appreciate all that you guys do to promote these programs and support our school districts, support our community-based partners. Really, really grateful for all of your partnership. So with that, we will go ahead and take some time for Q&A. So I know we've had lots of presentations today on public charge, on CalFresh, on school districts and community-based partners, and all of the different ways we can continue to think creatively about how we can support our families and hopefully increase that enrollment in the CalFresh food program. So please take a moment to type any questions in the Q&A chat. I don't see any there just yet. I know a couple have come through the chat. I know Betty was able to answer a couple already, so let me just take a moment to find those. I know Dr. Betty is always willing to work with other school districts, so thank you for reaching out to her. Betty provided her email in the chat here as well. So thank you so much for being such a leader and such a supporter for other districts. Betty, did you receive a question, I think, about the grant you received in order to give away produce boxes?
Yes, Kelly, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. So what we did during the pandemic is we utilized the USDA program, Farmers to Families Food Box Program, until that expired. And then what we did, our pivot was to partner directly with our farmer here locally. And we used all of the crediting that we received through the programs of SFSP and CACFP to aggregate all of this in a food box program.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Betty. And I know Abraham and Narina need to step away. Abraham, you had your hand raised. Were you just wanting to call that out, or did you have any other comments you wanted to address?
No, I just wanted to thank everyone for this just a wonderful information, and it's a good program, and hopefully we can get the word out and help more people.
It takes all of us, right? Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time and expertise in being here. Take care, Abraham.
Bye-bye.
It looks like there's a couple questions coming through I want to highlight in the Q&A as well. One question asks if the link or links to post on school websites can be sent out after the webinar. Either I can pass that to Andrea or Jonelle, or maybe Dr. Betty, you can even answer what was that process like to get your link on your websites?
So for us, Kelly, we have, and if anybody is listening and wants to see the website, please just go visit rusdnutrition.org. And the basic template of that website we get from Eyesight, which is the company that we had previously mentioned, Link. It's ubiquitous in the nutrition services, so it's pretty easy to access. Yet the district platform that we utilize, we just had them put in that nutrition dial so that the frame of all of the district and all of the websites, no matter what program it is that we're doing, I always tell the principals, I'll say, go to your website click the nutrition button. And that's how we kind of frame all of the resources. And I get phone calls all of the time, kind of one-offs, but they all kind of, redirect to that manner, even for our enrollment department, which is a very fluid partnership right now as we pivot to 22-23 with all of the McKinney-Vento solicitations to have the families fill out all of that information. Did that answer your question?
I think so. Yeah. Thank you so much. I think maybe,
and then please, anybody steal everything, borrow everything on my website. It is yours. It is yours for the taking. And my contact information is on the website too. So feel free to, I'm good for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Betty. Really appreciate that. I'm wondering too, if Jonelle or Andrea maybe could answer if you would be available, if districts have specific questions about, I'm interested in doing this, but, where do I get started, or who do I reach out to about how do I, get the link on our websites? Can they reach out to you, Jonelle and Andrea, or do you have any recommendations?
They can reach out. Definitely use the No Kid Hungry ca@strength.org. And it also, like Betty said, depends on the vendor. They might already have something that's available that can go on the website as well. But like I said, there's also the social media toolkits that can be utilized as well. But I would say first start with the vendor that they have. Great.
Thank you so much. And I will put my email in the chat as well. Any other questions that come through, happy to connect you. It looks like we have one more question in the chat. From Munira. She said, I am very low, free and reduced. How do I apply for a grant with No Kid Hungry to increase participation? Andrea or Jonelle, did you want to answer that question?
I can answer, Andrea, if you'd like. So go ahead.
Our grants are our grants are invitation only, so we will connect with you. That way we can figure out a way that we can assist and partner up.
Great, thank you, Andrea. And I see Tommy has put the No Kid Hungry email in the chat. Thank you, Tommy. And I'm just checking for any last questions. Please feel free, if you think of them, please go ahead and type them in the Q&A. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any others in the chat. Okay, I'm not seeing any others. Just a comment here. I wish they had these programs when I was in school. Great comment. Yeah, lots of great programs, and really glad to be partnering all together to get the word out about them. So I also see a comment from Melissa. Thank you for sharing the space, everyone, and provided her email address. I know not everyone on the call is a school district. We've got lots of community-based organizations and partners, and it really does, like Abraham said, it takes all of us partnering together, working together to meet our families where they are and be able to get questions answered, get confusion clarified, and really be able to utilize these benefits and support our kiddos. So thank you so much. I think I'm not seeing any other questions. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and have Tommy queue it up. We're gonna have some final remarks, closing remarks from Maryam Shayegh. Maryam is the Nutrition and Wellness Coordinator at the Los Angeles County Office of Education. So Maryam couldn't be here with us today, but provided some recorded remarks, and really grateful to hear from her. So Tommy, I'll let you go ahead and cue that up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maryam Shayegh. I serve as the Nutrition and Wellness Coordinator for the Los Angeles County Office of Education. LACO is a regional educational agency that provides technical assistance and support to LA County's 80 school districts and charter schools. We also provide direct educational services for our own LACO students at juvenile court schools, 2 specialized high schools, which are LACSA and IPOLY, and county community schools that are located throughout the county. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank No Kid Hungry for their continued support throughout the pandemic and beyond, for providing useful and very timely resources and learning opportunities for local educational agencies to improve access to healthy foods. Thank you so much to all the presenters today for emphasizing the importance of the CalFresh program and sharing effective outreach strategies to increase enrollment. As mentioned before, we still have a lot of work to do to ensure that all of our students and families who qualify for CalFresh know how to access and receive this important benefit. Teachers, nutrition services staff, and the education community can play a critical role in improving access to food assistance programs. The strategies that were highlighted earlier can be included as part of a comprehensive framework, such as California's multi-tiered system of support that aligns academic, behavioral, social, emotional learning, and mental health to address the needs of the whole child. This multi-tier system of support is dependent on a continuum of support. California MTSS really emphasizes the necessity that universal structures must be provided to all students, regardless of eligibility for other supports and services, while recognizing that some students need supplemental support at times, and a few students may occasionally require more intensified support to be more successful. For many local education agencies that use this tiered model of support as part of a comprehensive school district plan, an example of a universal support to meet the needs of all students could be making sure that CalFresh information is made available to all students and that all students have access to the school nutrition programs. And schools that have more students who require intensive supports may benefit from identifying and training staff to provide targeted application assistance to students and families. These strategies will affect a positive school climate and can contribute to increased student and family engagement and improve connectedness for students that support not only the whole child, but also local control funding formula priorities that are of a big concern, to school administrators, teachers, and other district and school site staff. And finally, I wanted to share good news about a recent change that will improve access to CalFresh. Last week, our county superintendent, Dr. Eduardo, welcomed several officials from the Biden-Harris administration to launch an exciting change to the Head Start program that will expand its definition of public assistance to include families receiving CalFresh benefits. This means families who simply show proof of CalFresh eligibility are now eligible for Head Start early learning programs. This change will streamline the eligibility determination process and increase opportunities to promote CalFresh. LACO was advocating for this change for several years now, and the timing couldn't be better with the upcoming universal pre-kindergarten that will bring together programs across early learning and K through 12 schools to provide every 4-year-old access to high quality learning the year before kindergarten. This is a great example of how we can maximize impact through collaboration, and look forward to exploring other opportunities and possibilities with many community partners across the county to improve access to the CalFresh program. Thank you so much again for your time and your commitment to this very important work, and please contact me directly if you have any questions. Thank you again, everyone. Be well.
Thank you so much, Tommy, for queuing up that video. It was really wonderful to have these closing remarks from Maryam, and what an exciting announcement about the dual enrollment with Head Start and CalFresh. Such a timely announcement here today. And with that, we reached the end of our webinar. I want to thank all of our speakers and partners today, Department of Public Social Services, No Kid Hungry, for all of the lift that you did to make this webinar possible, and planning, our CalFresh Healthy Living partners, Melissa and team, for being a part of this webinar from the Lawndale Elementary School District, the Los Angeles County Office of Education, the Office of Immigrant Affairs. Thank you all so much for your partnership and making today possible. We would appreciate your feedback for the webinar today. So there is a post-webinar survey that will pop up when you close your Zoom, if I'm saying that correctly, Tommy. So please take a moment to complete the webinar. Your feedback is really important to us and guides the kinds of webinars and meetings and presentations that we are able to partner together and put on moving forward. So thank you again for completing the webinar survey. Thank you for your time in being here with us today and for all of your partnership and working together to end childhood hunger. Take care, everyone.